It's time we talk about one of Diner Dash's spin-offs. The subject in question would be Cooking Dash, the Cooking Dash series. I touched on it on the history of Diner Dash previously. If you want to check that out, video link is in the video description. And so, for those who do not know, Cooking Dash is actually a spin-off of Diner Dash. And we already know that Diner Dash developer PlayFirst had decided to spawn some spin-off titles from Diner Dash. These spin-offs would have Cooking Dash, Wedding Dash, Avenue and Flow, Diner Town, Hotel Dash, and other games that they had. Some games aren't considered spin-offs, but they do have but one of the spin-offs and the games do feature Flow here, there, and everywhere. It sounds like PlayFirst wants to keep continuing up with the story about Flo being a successful waitress, and she might be still around to this very day if the studio like PlayFirst, who is owned by EA, is up for the challenge to try and bring back the Diner Dash IP, or if not, then no. So we talked about the full history of Diner Dash, trying to shine a little light on spin-off title Cooking Dash. Let's begin. On January 20th, 2008, PlayFirst developed and published and released the first Cooking Dash series, called Cooking Dash 1, a time management game that focuses on food preparation, an aspect of running the diner. Yes, of food prep. This is one of my main goals, wanting to work with food preparation. And I certainly got a job thanks to one of those Dash game videos I've watched, such as Cooking Dash and Diner Dash. But unfortunately, my first job at doing food prep has been fairly short-lived. Anyway, I'll be honest around the bush. Cooking Dash, I never played it before, but I'm not sure if my mother played that before, but it seems like it's pretty fun and easy to do, as long as you do not do any mistakes, to be exact, and not have the customers ditch. The gameplay is slightly different from the Diner Dash series. The game is slightly different from the Diner Dash series, as Flo is required to prepare food before serving to the customers. Customers will order the specific dish that is available in the restaurant. Main courses require cooking and may need to prepare two different kinds of food in the same dish. Flo has to keep an eye on the food that is on the stove, otherwise it will be burnt if it was left for a long period of time. Grandma Florence helps out in the preparation counter for food that does not require cooking. Desserts, snacks, snow cones, and drinks require less preparation and can be served right away. Customers also have hearts above their heads to signify their patience level. The longer they have to wait, the more hearts they will lose and lost. In addition to this, guess what was in Cooking Dash? Noise disturbance. Yeah. Some people would think that Diner Dash went downhill since when noise disturbance was added for no good reason, but there was an actual good explanation behind all this. The game is supposed The game is supposed to be like how it is in reality, and Noise Disturbance is supposed and Cooking Dash is supposed to have some features that would add much needed life into the game, and into the Diner Town world. So it not only added some needed life into the fictional game world, but it actually kind of made sense. So it's safe to assume that Play First just wanted to try something new with experimental types. Anyway, in addition, noise caused by other customers, which will also cause their patience to fall. Meanwhile, quick delivery, turning on the jukebox and serving them coffee will improve their mood. So thankfully, the jukebox, which kind of served as some sort of podium from Diner Dash, kind of does the trick alongside with the coffee station. And yes, the jukebox is not like the podium, but kind of close. A new feature was added, which is the chili sauce station. When added to the food, will cause slow customers to eat faster. This is useful when seats are limited. There are many customers queuing up. Similar to Diner Dash, bonus points are awarded for matching customers' colors to the seats, as well as chaining the same actions for serving, picking up the bill, and clearing dishes. The profit earned in each level can be used to buy decorative and functional upgrades for that specific restaurant. There are 5 restaurants in total: Flo's Diner, Darla's Cafe, Tony's Restaurante, Toshiro's Japanese Grill, and Flo's TV Diner. Darla's Cafe, Tony's Restaurante, and Toshiro's Japanese Grill makes their reappearance since Diner Dash 2 Restaurant Rescue, give or take. Let's talk about the story. The story begins with 2 television producers struggling to find a talent for Super Chef, a new television series. They discovered Cookie when they dined in Flo's Diner. They convinced him to star in the show. However, Cookie was hesitant to leave the diner. The opportunity came when Flo decided to let Cookie have a vacation, leaving the diner in the hands of Flo and Grandma Florence. Soon, Flo discovered that Cookie was featured in the show and was happy for him. However, she had to find a replacement chef named Chef Bobby to help run Flo's Diner. Cookie later invited Darla to guest star on his show. Hence, Flo and Grandma had stepped in to run Darla's Sidewalk Cafe. Tony and Toshiro were later invited to guest star in Cookie's show, leaving Flo and Grandma Florence to run Tony's Restaurante and Toshiro's Japanese Grill, respectively, during their absence. However, even with the rising popularity, Cookie was quite unhappy on TV set. Finally, after missing Flo so much, he decided to invite her to guest star in the show. Cookie later asked Flo to be his permanent super helper, which she accepted after thinking it over. However, Cookie was fired by the producers soon after being replaced by Chef Bobby. Cookie and Flo were actually relieved, happy to be back together in the diner once again. Here's the customer roster that were featured in Cooking Dash 1. Cooking Dash 1 featured the fan favorite customers from the Diner Dash series. The young ladies, aka the regulars, the business women, the seniors, cell phone addicts, and the bookworms. We already know who they are, since we already played the Diner Dash series. A student a student, not to be confused with the college, with one of the students, which is the college student from Diner Dash 1, is a new customer. He makes his first appearance on Cooking Dash 1. He goes by the name of Sammy the Student. Moderate in all aspects, and he doesn't mind the noise because he has his headphones on. So he is very similar to Joe the Jogger. New customers were added. Other new customers were added, such as the tough guy, who is fast to order and eat, and moderately patient, and moderately dislikes noise. The yoga teachers. She is fast to order and eat, and she's not very patient. And just like the bookworms, she gets upset quickly when being seated next to noisy customers. And the hippies. They are very similar to the teenagers in Diner Dash. Moderate in all aspects. They will be noisy unless being seated with the opposite sex. The guy orders and eats a bit quicker than the hippie girl. Yeah. Now, if you see now the hippies is a real mixed bag. It's kind of a very mixed bag. They behave the same well as the teenagers from Diner Dash 4, unless not the way that you think. They're busy unless they're noisy unless sat beside each other. When being sat alone waiting at the bar, the male hippie will bang both hands on the counter, signaling Flo to hurry up the pace. As for the hippie girl, also known as Harmony, she'll slap one hand on the table while partly raising the other for making eye contact with the player. What? A. That is literally annoying. And B. The hippie girl or Harmony making eye contact with the player. What the heck is this? What the fuck is this? Sorry, I didn't mean to swear, but what on earth is this? But what on earth is this? Seriously, at this point? Too creepy. And Harmony eyed the player suspiciously. Or something? What on earth is this? Seriously, what is this? Just like Diner Dash 4, if the hippie girl gets seated next to the hippie boy, they'll cease noise disturbance and begins flirting instead. Which is very nice that the flirting mechanic returned, but not the way that you think. You don't get a point bonus for that. So, yeah. The hippies would get introduced during the Tony's Restaurante stage. The yoga teachers would get introduced in Toshiro's Japanese Grill in one of the levels. I greatly find Cooking Dash 1 very, very interesting. Cooking Dash somehow captured a great hit like Diner Dash and ended up getting a sequel called Cooking Dash 2 Diner Town Studios. Cooking Dash 2 Diner Town Studios is a direct sequel to Cooking Dash 1 that was released on September 20th, 2009. And this is pretty interesting, and everybody is saying that either the game is a hit or a miss, or was actually not cool or very cool. But the game's actually very cool, to be honest. Just like the first series, main courses require cooking, and some may need flow to prepare 2 different kinds of food. Yeah, it's just the same gameplay mechanic. New restaurants were introduced called Salt Lick Saloon, Safari Grill, Buckingham Bistro, Hot Sticker Palace, and Crater Cafe. That's about it. Let's talk about the story. Flo gets a call from Gilda, her former college roommate, receiving 2 passes to visit her set, Wild Spaghetti Western in Dinertown Studios. Cookie was reluctant to go since his experience in the studio was not very pleasant, and from the first series of the game. While Grandma Florence agreed to come along, when they arrived, guess who returned? Guess who returned? Meet Simon the Celebrity, who made his first appearance on Diner Dash 4, Hometown Hero. Yes, Simon the Celebrity. Y'all know who he is. The celebrity orders and eats at a fast speed and moderately dislikes noise, just like Diner Dash 4 Hometown Hero. Now that's right. 8. Continuing with the story, Simon the Celebrity was upset about the food served to him. Flo got an idea to prepare food for everyone on the set. When the shooting for the saloon has concluded, Flo and Grandma Florence went to the ravine of the deep jungle set with Gilda to serve the food for the cast. They continued on to other sets as Gilda produces more shows. Towards the season finale of her space show, her and Simon gain crushes on each other. Interesting. The returning customers from the first Cooking Dash series made their return. But the content has changed dramatically. The yoga teachers and the hippies were completely final snap from existence. Now replaced with newer customers. Some people find them annoying or cool or beautiful or interesting. The starlet, the sweeter celebrity. Customers who would sit beside her will increase their mood as she starstrucks. However, just like the yoga teacher and the bookworm and the very important food critic from Diner Dash 4 onwards, she strongly dislikes noise. Similar to Bernie, she will leave a power-up that will increase the mood of others on the counter. Interesting. Yes, power-ups were added into Diner Dash spin-off Cooking Dash 2 Dinertown Studios. Alongside with the director. The director's fast to order and eat. But the director is very impatient. While waiting in line, he can be noisy. However, when he's at the table, he's quiet. He doesn't mind the noise. Try not to let the other customers in line get annoyed by his bullhorn thing. Be careful. When he leaves, he will leave an instant eating power-up that will cause everyone on the counter to finish eating faster. Okay, not bad. And we already know who the celebrity is. Simon orders and eats at a fast pace. Celebrities are special that customers who are seated beside them will request for a photo op, which will boost up their mood for both the celebrity and the customer. Celebrities will leave a power-up to increase flow's speed. Not bad. I actually like that. Very like it. Very. The customer's mechanics had changed. Like the tough guy. The tough guy's fast to order and eat, which rivaled with the cell phone addict. However, he is moderately patient. But however, from Cooking Dash 1, he only eats once. However, in Cooking Dash 2, however, in that version, he is similar to Hal the Hungry Man. For he orders twice. Yes, the tough guy in Cooking Dash 2 orders twice. Ace. No kidding. He kind of filled the void that Hal the Hungry Man had left behind. Before the Hungry Men made their grand reappearance in Diner Dash 5 Boom. So obviously he's just wow. Oh, this is just wow. PlayFirst decided to do this actually. Wow. I mean, what a nostalgic reappearance of Hal the Hungry Man's mechanic to be on the tough guy in Cooking Dash 2. Moving on, we get to another installment of Cooking Dash 3. A Cooking Dash. It's called Cooking Dash 3: Thrills and Spills. A third installment of the Cooking Dash series that was released on November 29th, 2010. The unique part of this game is that all the familiar characters that we know from Diner Town, the Diner Town universe, are in their younger versions. And can you not believe that? So, the gameplay is still the same. The game's original gameplay has been altered slightly to keep the player on their toes. However, the low content has changed dramatically. For example, while Flo's placed a food item onto the stove, she must remember to flip it, or else the food will not be cooked to perfection, which, unlike previous games, customers will no longer gain a heart bonus for speedy deliveries. Sad, I know. Seating arrangements are a bit different as well, for the customers are now seated in tables instead of a single bar or counter. This game introduces the dash-through, where customers will order from a window. Endless Shift is absent from the installment, replaced by Expert Mode. As the title says, this mode includes harder versions of the previous levels that have been completed. There are also a total of 4 mini-games that can be played after each level completed of a stage. There's also a special edition of the game called the Collector's Edition of the game, which included bonus content as well as the Klondike Gold Rush stage, a strategy guide, a screensaver, concept art, etc. were also added. Speaking of the restaurants, let's look at the restaurants. Jelly Roger, Log Jam, Spooky Shack, Deep Dive, Treetops, and the Klondike Gold Rush. Only in the collector's edition of the game. If you are lucky to get the collector's edition, then good for you. So, yeah. If you have watched Seppa-san's video and Barry Games' playthrough of Cooking Dash 3 Thrills and Spills, y'all know what to do. Do the chain bonuses and such. Let's talk about the story. We are taken back to what it looks like the 1980s. The game opens with Flo, Grandma Florence, and Darla going to the Dinerland amusement park. Flo remarks that the park wasn't always that nice. We are being taken back to what it looks like the 1980s, where our young Mr. Big is worried about the latest purchase he has made, presumably with his father's money, called Big World. He comes across a 14-year-old Flo working a food cart at the park, the only one that is making money. He subsequently hires her to run the restaurant in the Jelly Roger ride. With the huge success of the restaurant, Mr. Big opens another one from the Log Jam ride, followed by restaurants in the Spooky Shack, Deep Dive, Treetops, and in Collector's Edition, the Big Gold Rush ride. By the end of the game, all the restaurants are thriving. Big World is in Princeton condition, and Mr. Big is able to please his father, Big Sr., then invites him to manage at Big Corp, with Flo suggesting that he donates the park to the public and call it Dinerland. And what a story. However, I'm kind of confused. When we played the Diner Dash game, Mr. Big was the antagonist and also was a greedy landlord, who was in Diner Dash 2 Restaurant Rescue and in Diner Dash 5 Boom, and he was been started as an antagonist villain, and for some odd reason, in Restaurant Rescue, he changed his ways and invested into a new restaurant called Flo's Skylight Lounge and Restaurant Rescue. Yes, Flo's Skylight Lounge, out of his own big corporation tower. Then, after learning his lesson, he just kind of went back to his old freaking roots. What was Playfirst even doing? What is this? Interesting how Mr. Big hired Flo, and they were firm friends since, but then Mr. Big became a bad antagonist villain or something like that, and now he don't even care anymore. And this is insane. I mean, Mr. Big and Flo, they were firm friends, and Mr. Big hired Flo when she was in her teens. And then a few years later or something like that, he's now a greedy landlord. That's crazy. We got the customer roster remains relatively the same like the same customers from Cooking Dash 1 and 2. However, the contents changed dramatically a little bit. So prior to Cooking Dash 3, since everybody is younger, things have changed a little bit. So let's look at the customers. Rosie the regular, the young lady. Barb the businesswoman. Seymour the kindly senior. Simon the celebrity. That's right, Simon is back at it again. However, he is impatient still and orders at a moderate pace, but a little faster than normal. He'll leave behind a speed boost. Yes, power-ups make their official return again. And so Simon the Celebrity will leave behind a speed boost if his happiness is as high. He moderately dislikes noise. Most customers will want to take a photograph of him. If they're sat beside him, a successful photo will improve their moods. The starlet. She contrasts with the impatient in Simon. She's moderately patient in orders and eats at a moderate pace. She's able to raise the mood of those sitting by her, except for Simon. and if she leaves happy, and if she leaves, she behind a heart boost if her happiness is high. However, as nice as she may, she still strongly dislikes noise and will become extremely unhappy as a result if being seated next to Colin and his noisy boombox. Speaking of Colin, let's talk about Colin the cell phone addict, or the punk rocker. Before Colin became a cell phone addict, he used to be a punk rocker. So it's suspectingly and such, he was 16 years old. So he was in his mid to late teens. So that means that Colin was not only a cell phone addict but a punk rocker. He, as always, he's impatient, orders and eats fast, and makes noise. He doesn't have a cell phone, but he has a boombox. He has a noisy boombox. He doesn't mind the noisy presence of fellow punk rockers around him. Other punk rockers around him don't mind the noise, but try not to see... Sammy the student and other punk rockers don't mind the noise, but try not to seat Colin next to the bookworm. Seat the punk rockers as far from others as possible before everyone leaves unhappy. So the customer roster has much of the customers from Cooking Dash 1 and 2, but they're in their younger age. However, some attitude changes. However, some mechanic contents for the customers change a little dramatically. Like how Simon the Celebrity is, and such a little. Let's talk about one customer who returned, Sammy the student. So remember he was moderately patient and eats at a moderate pace from Cooking Dash 1 and 2. Well, you guys better be quick and expect him to have fast service. Sammy the student in Cooking Dash 3, unlike the previous games, he's now an impatient customer, but he is quick to order and eat, and always ends up ordering anything sweet, such as a soda, sweet tarts, and juice. Therefore, he may order up to 3 times total. But the good news is that Sammy's always wearing headphones, so he is not bothered by the noise. Just like what Joe the Jogger would do. So at the moment of which that's it. And I forgot about one new customer, the mascot, Bill Bucks. The mascot is very patient and eats and orders fast. It eats twice, which in reality kind of replaces the tough guy who is absent from Cooking Dash 3. And carries how the very hungry man's present mechanic. So during the action of Cooking Dash 3, many of our regular favorite customers were in their younger age. Rosie the regular was 15 years old during Cooking Dash 3. Barb the businesswoman was aged 16 to 17 in Cooking Dash 3. Who else? Bernie the bookworm was in his late teens to teens. He was 18 to 20 years old. Sammy the student was 14 years old in Cooking Dash 3. What about the starlet? She's a young adult. Interesting. Simon the Celebrity was a teenager. Seymour was aged 44 to 47 in Cooking Dash 3. The trivia on the Dash Wiki, according to the trivia on Cooking Dash 3, Cookie has been shown in the title screen, but he's nowhere to be seen during gameplay. There's evidence that she was going to retain his helper role for the second game, but was cut. His sprites can be found in the game's files under the name Helper 1. The music that plays in the treetop stage is recycled music from Cooking Dash 2, Dinertown Studios' Safari Grill stage. There's also a glitch that may occur occasionally. If Flo is currently holding an item while checking out a customer, the item she's holding may disappear. Besides this, there are instances where if the player were to click and hold on to a customer from the line, this would cause them to lose patience at a slower rate. This could cause desynchronized patience level in customer duos. It's uncertain whether this was intended or a mistake. Okay. So that wasn't right. Now let's move on to the downfall of the Cooking Dash series. Cooking Dash 2016. Cooking Dash 2015 is a 2015 strategy and time management video game. Developed by PlayFirst and Glue Mobile was published it. I believe PlayFirst and Glue Mobile developed it together, then Glue Mobile published it. Cooking Dash 2016 served as a soft reboot for the original Cooking Dash game, which is a Diner Dash spin-off game. It was later been renamed Cooking Dash 2016, then was renamed again back to Cooking Dash in 2017. What is this? And is a direct kind of sort of a sequel to after Diner Dash 2014, the Diner Dash reboot. Flo and Cookie are recruited to be in a cooking show with each set of 3 or 4 seasons, along with the help of Grandma Flo. The game retains its tap and touch gameplay, but with the addition of a new currency of coins and gold expensive upgrades. New auto chefs and tips to earn pieces of fame tier. It also has an efficiency that nearly all of the venues have Cookie dressing up in different costumes. Ergo, Cowboy and Backyard BBQ, Caveman in Caveman Palario, and Merman in Tapas de Mayo. The characters to the customers made the return and also made their reappearance, as well as the customers that we just saw from the Diner Dash reboot, Diner Dash 2014. Now let's talk about the customer types. We already know about everybody's fan favorite characters. We got Rosie the Regular. We got Barb. We got Bernie the Bookworm. We got Kingston, who was from Diner Dash 2 Restaurant Rescue to Diner Dash 4 Hometown Hero and its expansions. Who's Kingston the Kid from the Families. We got Shakes McGee. We got Skip, Henu, Maddie, Tara, Hergo First, and Violeta, alongside with Grandpa Norbert. New customers were added, such as Patty Unkyo, Big Bob Lugman, Doug Hart, Maid Marianne, Alice, Pat Shmee, Kitty Kate, Harold T. Rumpet, Drag, Carlo, Franklin, Peter, Danny, and Maggie. Wait, please let it be Maggie, the mom from the Families. I don't think so. Maybe, or I don't know. Oh, but we don't know if it's the same character from Diner Dash 2 to 4, or it's a different Maggie. I just don't know. Returning VIPs made their grand return, and after Diner Dash 2014 or something, like Lena Sanger, Van Ryder, Craig Tekri, Al Bonagas, Dinah, and Mr. Big. New VIPs and auto chefs were added. New VIPs have been added. Dan Germanden, Nori, Oog, Lady Nibbleston, Mad Hatter, Captain Reagan Redbeard, Lars Hefner, Marty Garnish, Astro Scott, Richard, Saniga, Jerome, Nate, and Becca, to name a few. Those are the new VIPs. And the auto chefs, as were also introduced. Ronnie Scottborn, Magic Cake Bear, Sally Sue Kettlecorn, and Hero Octio, and Dino Rex. Auto chefs, more auto chefs. Well, a cool addition. Few a little very questionable. And we got 2 minor characters, Gus and an unnamed lumberjack. Alongside with the venues that have been listed, like Wonderland Delight, Piece of 8, Cat Lady Creeps, Eeps, Taco Train, Metal Chef Italian, and Cutie Cakes, Eggs and such. Give or take. So, yeah. There's in the trivia on the Cooking Dash reboot, a spin-off game titled Restaurant Dash Gordon Ramsay was released around the same period, as it slightly differs the technique from this Cooking Dash game. Restaurant Dash Gordon Ramsay is a spin-off of Cooking Dash, with a lot of bells and whistles being different. Gordon Ramsay hosts the game and sometimes uses colorful vocabulary like Maddie when she gets mad. Instead of Flo, you get to play an avatar character you customize. A young lady cooks the ordered food instead of cookie. This really didn't sit well with everyone else. The spin-off game was not well received and received unfavorable reviews compared to Cooking Dash. It was removed from the App Store in late July 2023 last year and became an offline game 2 months later. Players that have previously downloaded the game are unable to buy funds after its discontinuation. So the game was subject to be the worst game possible. But the main question is, who made the game? Play First, Glue Mobile, or both? Okay, you know what? Forget it. I'm just gonna take back that question, and besides that, I don't know what were they thinking. What were they thinking? Thank God, Restaurant Dash Gordon Ramsay got freaking axed. Though it did come back as an offline game, though. And that's it. Cooking Dash, despite its major flaws, it did leave a good impact on nostalgia purposes. And the Cooking Dash reboot is still a kick to play still. I don't know if people still play the soft reboot of Cooking Dash, but if they do, then good for them. But do you know what's missing? That's right. We're missing Diner Dash 2014. Despite that game receiving more than 10 million downloads on the Google Play Store, it was delisted from the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. What were they even doing? Why did they discontinue? Why would they discontinue the soft reboot of Diner Dash? I mean, what happened? what's going on? We don't know why. Maybe there's some sort of problem about, I don't know, about the Diner Dash reboot. If so, what are the reasons? Maybe it's about the reason why maybe the reboot got removed because everybody disliked disliked the new art style of the reboot. If so, then what was the matter with it? I understand why, because it's very questionable, and it sets apart from the previous art styles from the original Diner Dash. I understand the idea here was to change the art style of the Diner Dash series. I mean, if we look at Diner Dash 2 to 4, it has a great art style. It's just one of the games I've really been blown away by. I mean, wow, the game was actually gorgeous. Yes. When Diner Dash 5 Boom was introduced, the new art style has changed. And the interesting art style was very controversial and questionable, and a real mixed bag. But what's different about the art style in Diner Dash 5 Boom is that they have a good smooth animation that should have been adapted in the old art style from Diner Dash 2 Restaurant Rescue. Though it was about to have that smooth animation style when Once Upon a Diner was introduced. During cutscenes, they somehow kind of try to improve their cutscene animations because at the moment of which this is what PlayFirst were trying to do, trying to animate and do some smooth type of animation. During in-game gameplay from Diner Dash 4.3 Once Upon a Diner, or when you serve a drink to the customers, they get actual good smooth drinking animation at this point, which was later been adapted in 5 Boom. Now, as for the Cooking Dash title itself, though I haven't played that game when I was younger, it seemed very obvious that it appealed to so many people. But some of the characters felt very unfavorable, including things like the hippies and the yoga teacher. Yeah, the yoga teacher might be the worst character and might be an unfavorable character. And what else? The tough guy. I repeat that. The tough guy. Who else is not a favorable character, probably? Moving to Cooking Dash 2, Diner Town Studios, we have another unfavorable character. The director, which is another noisy guy. Do you know what considers to be the best few characters in the Cooking Dash series? That's right, Simon Celebrity and Rosie the Regular, alongside with Barb the businesswoman, Bernie the Bookworm. This Starla the Starlet would be a favorable character, and who else? Sammy the Student. He was a favorable character, though, probably, but he turned into an unfavorable character when Cooking Dash 3 had been introduced, and he became the worst character in the series, probably, according to some people. Seriously, I couldn't wrap my head around why would Sammy the Student would be so impatient. Those that play first better answer this question. Why did Sammy the Student become an impatient customer in Cooking Dash 3? Seriously, what is going on? But alas, the customers are very fine despite what kind of patience they are in. And everybody's saying that the seniors and the bookworms were the worst. Or the seniors may be the worst. One user who commented on who commented on one of Sipasan's Cooking Dash videos saying that the seniors are worse than the bookworms. Seriously, honestly, both customers were to be the worst characters. Bernie and Seymour, the senior. Bernie the bookworm and Seymour the senior. Both of them are slow to order and eat. So what do you expect? What do you expect? What do you freaking expect? They deserve special attention at this point. They got good patience though despite they are slow to order and eat. But there is an idea to help them eat faster. The chili sauce station was a good addition. And besides that, it was a good addition into the Cooking Dash series, and it's very useful. With Play First now being owned by EA, despite being under their parent company Glu Mobile, what will become of next for Cooking Dash? Are they gonna get another revival? I hope not. What about Diner Dash? We hope it's not gonna get another horrible revival or not. But what about Glu Mobile? Well, this isn't the end of the road for Glu Mobile at this point. I don't know what happened to Glu Mobile. Obviously, I don't know what happened to Glu Mobile. Obviously, the studio. I don't know if the studio is either active or quiet or something like that. Despite Play First's freaking IP becoming a hit or miss, we don't know what's going to happen next. If Play First finally becomes active or something, or announces a new game, but we'll have to speculate what's going to happen next. Thank you guys all for watching, and until next time, and we'll know what's going to happen next. We'll see what video will be gonna become of next. Goodbye, everyone.